Hello, this is your Professor Susan Dodge. I'm going to be going through this first assignment here, first day activity. I am not going to be reading it word for word. What you need to do is read through it a couple times to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what's going on, and this YouTube is just as a backup in case you're stuck. Okay, but generally you're paraphrasing the sentence, putting in two images. You pick out one that's sort of a quintessential, stereotypical idea of art. You know, the big oil painting, the portrait, the still life, that sort of a thing. And also pick out something that's non-standard. Okay, and pop it into the context of a sentence. And after that, um, describe in a sentence or two your first response to both works of art using three specific elements of art. Okay? The elements of art are listed on page 47 of your textbook, so you have to use three. There's a good number of them, maybe 10 or so. But use three specific in your sentence. What do you like? I liked the shape. I liked the size. This thing is over 20 feet. I liked the colors. I liked the texture. I liked, stuff like that. Contrast. Okay? Pick out those words from your list. So, what else to call attention to? Use the artist's names. If the process is not apparent, say what that is. 100-word minimum, save as a PDF. Start at artsy.net, and there it's fairly easy to pick out standard big oil paintings, things that are stereotypical, and also non-standard works of art. Okay, do all this, da da da. Okay, in Microsoft Word, so here we have it. This is what I did. Okay, generally, okay, of course you cannot use my sentence, just saying. You have to write your own, paraphrase it. People may think of art as something like this, a big oil painting from the Renaissance era by Sandro Botticelli. Renaissance era is, 1400s, 1500s, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, all that. Okay, big heavy hitters of art history. Okay, big painting. But art can also be non-traditional, contemporary, and here's an example, which is a body cast sculpture installed on the exterior wall of a building. See? Wow, wild. By, Harun Gonzalez. Okay. Now then after that, you write let's take a look. What your reactions were. Your first response. It's okay if your response is negative. It doesn't have to be positive. It can be, startled. It can be indifferent. Hopefully not. Let me think of what other. Just a second. I read something recently that was interesting on that line. Here's an interesting article, a paragraph by a famous art critic, Peter Sheldal. This is what he says about responses to artwork. Aren't all responses physical, laced with hormones? Attraction or repulsion, curiosity or indifference? Indifference feels the worst, vitality gurgling down a drain. Intellect comes along later with its forensic toolkit. And then he goes into the response that he had to see a painting called Las Meninas by Velázquez in Spain. Anyway, interesting. So, it doesn't need to be necessarily a positive response, but you do have to write about your response to both works of art, using the elements of art in your terminology, in your sentence. Okay. Back to this. Okay. The first painting, the first image, the Renaissance painting, right? To me, Um, whatever, made me, phew, it's interesting really what your response would be to me. Wow. I mean, this is huge. I know it's an extremely huge painting, so I think the scale is interesting. And also this ideal feminine kind of idealized human form, the colors and the form, the shapes. Look at the shape of this shell, the contrast. Look at these colors, the greens and the reds. Those are complementary colors. Anyway, all this stuff, to me, you could just say was interesting in terms of, how did it, hold on, I've got to go back and see what I asked specifically. Your first response, all right. The first image to me, I don't know, you're looking at it for the first time anyway, so can I type? Was interesting because I saw. Okay, the things that you're going to be writing about are things that you're seeing, right? Because I saw this and that and this and that. Okay, the second image. The second image, to me, I love how bright that red is, the contrast against the wall. Stuff like that, okay? So what are these art what are these elements of art that I'm mentioning, for example? Mentioning specifically color, contrast, just in terms of my conversation, okay? And you have to put it into a sentence. Um, Color, contrast, I also said shape. Did I say texture? Use of line. They were very deliberate about these shadows falling, what time of day to take this photograph. And I love the use of line in terms of this bare tree branch. So all of these things. Okay. All right, what else? You need to do a spell check. Okay. Now, I also have a checklist. Paraphrase your sentence. 2 images inserted. One is standard, one is alternative. Alternative is not two-dimensional. Write 2 or more sentences that describe your reaction to the work. Well, I didn't really say my reaction, did I? The second image was, it's kind of surprising, right? It's like, wow. So what is your reaction? Astonishment? Um, the artwork is like out of place, sort of like on a wall. Like it's not in a gallery, it's not in a museum, it's in a different place altogether. And that gives it some authority, doesn't it? It gets your attention. Um, so, that generally says what my reactions were. Okay, then save it as a PDF. In Word, that functions under print. I'm sure you know that probably. Okay, down here, PDF. Save as Adobe PDF. Okay, standard. Okay, I'm going to save it as, okay, call it what it is. First day assignment, actually. First day assignment. Putting my initials in there. Okay, where on the desktop? I've been putting stuff in here lately. Blackboard stuff. Okay, save. Alright, there it is. Saved as a PDF. Now, I would like to call your attention to this. Save your Word doc as a PDF. If you don't do this, I'll ask you to resubmit it. Alright? Because this is criteria, firm criteria. Okay. All these other things, mention the elements of art, mention the artist by name. If the process is not apparent, describe the process a bit. Write your "this is my" in the right submission box. This is just the checklist, right? It says this in to submit. Click write submission and write "this is my first day assignment," just so that I know that you know how to do that. And then you attach the file. Okay, so how do you attach the file? Good question. I'm going to go up to student view so I see exactly what you'll be seeing. Hopefully. Here's our page. Our site. Okay, here's the assignment. Scroll down, like, okay, what do I do? What you have to do, number one, is go back and click this. Okay, then you get the software capabilities to upload your assignment. Due on Friday the 18th. Here's all this stuff. Da 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 da. Okay, write submission. Dear Professor Dodge, this is my first day assignment. And then put your name, right? Where am I here? Okay. Attach files. First day assignment. Make sure it's attached. Then you hit submit. Okay, I'm not going to submit it because I don't know what it'll do since I'm not a student. But that's that. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, thank you very much.